So I worked on this little part of this painting today, and that was the first lesson on the water disc. And I'm still working through this trees disc, and this one didn't turn out well at all, and I will explain why. Abracadavers season 1 got top of the stack. Who would have thought? Orangutan Island season 1, then 8-bit Christmas, bottom of the stack.
8-bit Christmas.
Yeah, and James is having caramelized plantains, which I fried in coconut oil, and that's the extra virgin or whatever coconut oil that tastes like coconuts, and nog oatmeal, and so that's made with that. And I'm just drinking oatmeal.
Nog?
Yep. So, anyway. Whew. So, I'll just put this over to the side somewhere. There, maybe?
So these are the living dead then? Is Abracadavers?
No.
Not quite, okay.
I don't know why it's called that yet.
That's weird.
I watched season 2 first, and remember that was awful.
Okay.
And on the case it said that season 1 had won an award. And I was saying, well, you know, I'm wondering what, because watching season 2, I was like, how could season 1 win an award? I watched season 1, it was good.
Yeah.
There's, it's seems really homemade, but there's some good special effects. And it's locally made, local talent.
In Canada or what?
Alberta.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah, this big hero looks a little overweight. How does that?
And yeah, it's artfully made. So you watch it and you think, gosh, where are they going with this? It must be good. Well, season 2 was a real downer. So I will watch season 3 because season 1 was good. But
what's that copyright? Is that 2022 now? Can you read that?
Yep.
2022. Sorry about that.
And it's not very long. Like this, it's 78 minutes for season 1. The episodes are short, and there's only, I think there were 4 episodes. There's not very much.
You mean 4 episodes total 78 minutes?
Total 78 minutes.
Oh, it must be like made for a half hour. Sort of
Not
thing.
even. Like some of the episodes, I was looking at them 17 minutes or something. So.
Yeah, I think usual programming has 20. This hour has 22 minutes. It would be a half hour show.
Yeah.
And 22 minutes, so that seems different.
Anyway. I was very surprised, given that I watched season 2 first.
I don't see any of the usual suspects for, I don't know if they got any public funding with this.
Oh yeah, they would have.
Well, usually they put it on the cover.
It would have been listed in the credits, I'm sure.
Okay.
Anyway, Orangutan Island season 1. It was a real disappointment. You know, it's funny because I had this dream.
Well, the orangutan is not disappointing.
I know,
that
they
guy
were all wonderful.
or gal
Yeah.
is really got a lot
Let
of
me
character.
see if I can. Oh, I think that is Cha-Cha,
Okay.
which is a girl.
Yeah.
Because I just watched it and I
There we
could
go.
recognize
They got
their
different
faces in it.
personalities,
Yeah.
you know?
And Cha-Cha's my favorite. She's wonderful. So I had this dream that I had an orangutan for a daughter that I'd adopted, and it was I was telling somebody about the story of how it was difficult getting her on the plane. You know, they didn't want to let her on the plane, and in my arms and whatever, and all this stuff. Anyway, I was at a folk festival, and my little orangutan daughter, we were holding hands, and then she decided to go up a tree, and I'm like, oh no.
Like Maxie, eh?
Yeah, exactly. That's what triggered this. Maxie's still on the brain, apparently. And so she was up the tree, and I was like, I can't go up there to get you, so you're gonna have to come down. And she just looked like, like, I'm ignoring you, right? I'm staying in the tree. And so eventually I laid out a picnic blanket, and I was talking to somebody, right, about the orangutan and this and that and whatever. So I laid out the picnic blanket and opened up a bag of chips, and she came walking over. So food, always the way to their hearts. But yeah, it was funny. Like still thinking about Maxie up a tree, because she'd be in the elm trees. And I couldn't get up to get her out of the elm trees.
Elm trees
So
would be hard to climb.
yeah. So well, to try to get a parrot out, who would likely fly when you come near them anyway. But anyway, so I'd walk down. At first, it was hard finding her, right, because they'd be fully in leaf. Because I wouldn't have Maxie out when they weren't.
And she was fully in feather, and she was green.
Yeah. And so I'd go, Maxie, where are you, Maxie?
Would she laugh?
And she'd say, here. Like she didn't bother hiding. So I knew when I'd found her because she'd tell me, right? Mm-hmm. And so then I'd be like, you gotta come down, I can't go up there for you, right? Just like with the orangutan, I can't go up that tree. And I was like, oh, just find a spruce tree, please find a spruce tree, because I can climb the spruce. It's like climbing a ladder, so you can easily get them out of there. So eventually she'd find a spruce tree, and it was more often than not the same one. She liked a particular one, and she wanted me to go up there with her. So I'd go up, and she'd look at me, and she was like, see? And she wanted me to see her view. She was like, this is way better. If we're going to be out here, why are we? And so she'd, like, up in that spruce tree.
This one?
No, right there. The one that was... Oh, actually, it's a different one. I think they chopped down the one that she... Well, it might have been that one. Anyway, I think they chopped down the one that she would like to go for.
Oh, but you mean like in Nancy's and...
Exactly.
Dave's
yeah.
yard.
Yeah, before it was Nancy and Dave's yard.
Yeah.
When it was...
She must have known it wasn't your yard, eh?
I don't know. She just liked that one for some reason. And so... She'd get up there.
Because the ones in your yard,
and she had a good view then of where she used to sit, right? And so I know that she'd go there because she'd be sitting here in her cage, and this is where I put it here, and at the time the lilac wasn't very big, and so she'd be looking over at that tree going, oh, I wish I was there, right? And so that's where she'd
The other folks' spruce is always greener or something like that, or taller.
And then I'd grab her, and she'd growl.
Yeah.
She didn't want to leave there. Anyway, so that's where that... But yeah, so it got me... somehow I got an orangutan dream. And then I saw this orangutan video at the library, and I thought, oh, okay. But honestly, it's not nearly as good as Meerkat Manor. And I guess they've made quite a few of these animal seasons, shows that you follow the different animals. And I mean, who wouldn't want to watch a bunch of orangutans? But
I'd rather watch them than the meerkats. The meerkat,
really,
my favorite.
I love Meerkat Manor.
I did too. But my favorite one, I stopped watching it when it was Shakespeare. He sacrificed himself.
Yeah.
Taking on a snake. I knew he was going to die. They said he was poisoned. He's going to die. And I'm going, you have no idea.
Yeah,
I think it was a cobra or something like that. Brave little thing.
Yeah.
I think orangutans have a longer survival.
Yeah, well, these are orphaned orangutans. I should have realized how bad it was, but I guess Indonesia, they're clearing out the forests, and
they're having an overpopulation crisis, but that happens every place where Islam has taken hold.
Anyway, so yeah, might be able to adopt an orangutan daughter, just like in my dream, because where else are they gonna live? I mean, in this show, they're saying, oh, well, there's still hope, you know. They have a bunch of orphaned orangutans on Orangutan Island, but they're bringing them food. Anyway.
Well, it means you have to do that all the time.
Yeah.
You can learn to scavenge for
Yeah.
yourself.
And still, I mean, the one drowned.
Well, that's what I wouldn't want to see.
You know, like there's, yeah, like they're doing the best that they can to try to teach these orphaned orangutans different things, like snakes are scary, you know?
Yeah.
Don't go near snakes, but still there's one of the orangutans is playing with a snake. And then she decides it's a bad idea and she tosses it down and the snake goes swimming away and through the water, but
Yep. No. Well, that's
anyway, 8-bit Christmas, bottom of the stack.
what the hey is that?
Well, it's about Nintendo,
Oh,
but
man.
and it stars Neil Patrick Harris, which
I don't know who that is.
the Doogie Howser.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, oh, Blue Jay, hey buddy,
Hey there, guy.
haven't
gal.
seen you in a while.
Haven't heard you either. Are you hungry for?
I got some
Hungry?
seeds and
You
I
want
put some
some
on the
seeds?
windowsill.
Yeah. Check window. Okay.
Anyway,
Did you bring friend along? One of them lost its crest, right? How did that
looks
happen?
like there's one back in the elm.
I think I saw one moving in the back. I think they must know the seeds are back.
Yeah, well, I don't have peanuts back though. We're gonna have to
They
find
prefer
peanuts
the
in the
peanuts?
shell because I don't know.
Now, how did the one lose his crest?
Well, we don't know. Just
But he
all of
did.
a sudden he showed up. He was bald, and it was
No.
like, what did he get in a
Fight or
hen-pecking kind of fight, or?
Yeah. Anyway,
But it grew back.
he got ented.
And,
I never realized they kind of,
oh,
when
yeah,
they're kind of excited, they move their
yeah,
crests
they moved their
around.
crest. It's very cute.
Oh man.
Anyway, so this show was awful. But when you, like, it started out the daughter character of Neil Patrick Harris's character. She's awful. Awful actress.
Oh my God.
And you're having to rely on a lot of child actors in this movie. And child actors
Hollywood
are
child
tough.
actors.
Tough. They're
So
more
this
often
is
than
a
not
current
terrible.
release, eh?
I don't know.
He hasn't aged much.
2021, so yeah,
Yeah.
it's fairly current.
So he was an 80s phenomenon, wasn't he? Or was that early 90s?
I don't know. He reinvented himself.
Well, you'd have to.
Did a good job doing it.
You have to play the eternal teenager. I gotta think of a name for Jay. Screaming Jay, that's what I called him. As in Screaming Jay Hawkins. There you go. Yeah, I saw another
Oh.
one way in the background. There's
Yeah, I was gonna talk about this painting, how it messed up. The reason that
I
it,
should just mention there are three of them.
3.
Yeah,
You
there's
saw
one
3.
in this. I saw one heading way out there. Then I saw one leave the tree, and now there's one.
Well,
where
they're
there was
probably
one.
very disappointed because they probably remember this is Peanut Central, and
Yeah.
now I don't know where I can find peanuts in the shell.
okay.
I'll find them,
Yeah, exactly.
but they're not where I used to get them. So
Sorry about interrupting.
No problem. So this painting, I did. It's what's it called? Silver and gold, or I don't know what it's called. For that lesson in the tree DVD of Watercolor Secrets. And his looks amazing, right? And I followed it pretty well for the layout, and then I did the masking fluid on everything, and then as soon as I touched I hadn't even put the paint on yet. I started putting water on my tree area and in between the trees, and I was like, oh no, because I knew right away, oh, this isn't watercolor paper. I made a mistake. I have mixed media paper taped down to this, not watercolor paper, and it didn't work at all. So everything that I tried to do was just an absolute failure. And eventually I'll have a chipmunk here and I'll have a dog here, but eventually it's going to have to be a soft pastel picture or something like that. I'll have to fix it with something else, but that's okay. As soon as I started, I'm like, do I even bother continuing? And I got done the background and I'm like, that's not, like the colors, I put lots and lots of paint on and it wouldn't blend at all. And it was very frustrating. And I'm like, maybe I should just start over and do it again. And then I thought, no, I'm trying to learn here and I can still learn the principles of everything without it turning out. So I learned at the bottom of trees, you do the pattern so you curve up to make it look round and up until eye level, and then it starts to go the other way. And what else did I learn in this picture?
That's a form of perspective, actually.
Oh, I didn't know that, but okay.
You know how when you do 2-point perspective, it comes to they meet the lines that you draw. It doesn't do that in reality. They curve. Curve. So those lines you see are on those kind of curves. Huh? You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
See, if you did strict perspective, you draw a line to the vanishing point there, line to the vanishing point there, and you'd have them meet in the point, so it'd be like a V, and then up above your eye level, you meet in like a hat for an A with a cross on it. But in reality, it's like, here, things curve.
So anyway, I learned where the paint should go. There's some things that I couldn't get to work, and I don't think it would have helped had I had watercolor paper. I just wasn't getting it to work. And the path, it looks like it's sticking up, and I don't know how to make it stick down. It looks like snow. Yeah. So, whatever, it didn't work.
I never would have guessed that was a path. No.
I know. It didn't work out.
I do like the shadows across it.
Yeah.
Those look like shadows.
I don't know how to do the path. So, anyway, that didn't work, and I don't know why.
The trees are obviously trees.
Yeah.
It looks as though the little...
Maybe once I figure it out.
Chipmunk, you were saying?
It will be, but I don't remember what the chipmunks' patterns look like. I think they have 2 lines on their tail.
Something like that.
But I can't remember, so I'll have to... Well, maybe we'll see one soon.
Well,
anyway.
They have chipmunks, I believe, in water.
And I learned something great about this first lesson on the waters disc. Is not a very interesting picture, but it teaches
really
you...
interesting. Oh, that little one up there.
The little one.
On the wall.
Yeah.
Because I really like it. I especially love the love that you put into the fish.
Yeah.
Especially the one upper
left.
Yeah. But they've all got interesting eyes and stuff like that.
So, yeah, but with reflections, they're straight down from the object. I didn't know that. Like he's saying, he's going through all the things. Oh, people often make the mistake thinking, oh, well, where do I put the reflection? Does it go off to the one side or whatever, depending on where, like if the post is leaning or whatever. And he goes through the whole bunch of them. You know, how a post, if it's leaning over the water, if it's leaning back, if it's this, that, and yeah, the church in the distance, you only really see the steeple part because you have to measure. Some people think that the whole church should be down in the reflection, but it's not because it's up on the hill. And so all of this stuff, right, that you don't really think about. And then if you go to paint it, you go, I've seen this a million times, but I guess I didn't really see it because I don't remember how it is, right? So often we're not actually present in reality. We think we are, but we're not observing very much of anything. And so then when we try to think of, oh, well, what does that look like? It's tough to think of it. And so a lot of the time when I'm imagining things that I've seen a lot to put in my paintings, well, it doesn't work out really great because I've never really paid close enough attention to remembering what things really look like or whatever to put them in there properly.
I think we've got lousy memories and lousy observational skills. I think we've got, although most people don't use them very well, good reasoning skills, but at least potentially. But when you think of birds in the air, like I've watched the geese go.
They're amazing.
They must have the ones that hang around Lethbridge must have an incredibly good map of Lethbridge. I swear they follow.
Your dog Paris was
roads.
amazing.
Yeah. So I'm not making it up.
Suburbia looks exactly the same to me.
She came from Grand Prairie.
She knew.
She came from Grand Prairie. The first time we went back to Grand Prairie from here, we got within, we lived for a while with Pauline's mom in Grand Prairie. And then we came down here. And so I think we'd been there for half a year or something like that with Paris. No, it was just a few months. And we went back, and we were coming on the main thoroughfare, making a left-hand turn. Is that 84th there? And then you make a right-hand turn, you get into suburbia along some spaghetti street, and then another spaghetti street. And so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 turns away. She starts whimpering.
Yeah,
and for the first little while, whenever we went back, she'd start whimpering. So she was thinking of that as home, Pauline's mom's place. But she knew. Now, she just recognized the route, I'm sure people were saying, because that's what I was saying to myself. One time, we went down shopping, ordinarily here in Lethbridge. I'd go down 10th, rather 12th. So 17th Street, 12th Avenue, Mayor McGrath. Then come back the same way. One time, for some reason or other, I turned on 16th. And I came up, I believe it's 20th Street to 12th. So it was a different route, never gone on it before. When we got to the corner of 12th, Paris started whimpering. So what she was saying is, I recognized that corner, the houses on the corner. Presumably she was memorizing the houses all the way down, all the buildings all the way down to, not Save-On, but Superstore.
She was amazing.
Yeah. But I think all of them have that. It's just she vocalized. The other ones don't vocalize that way for the roots. Yeah. So, yeah.
I don't know. She was really leader of the house, though, so.
Well, she certainly thought she was. Yeah. Definitely your boss.
All right, so you have 5 minutes to talk about whatever you want.
Yeah, she was resentful of Pauline.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I brought her down here to the house
stand.
at this place while Pauline worked in the summer up in Grand Prairie. So, this house, I figured, Paris figured was her house to be the mistress of. I can remember she got a little bit fat. I used to feed her peanut butter on finger. Eventually, I just couldn't help spoiling her because she was so nice to me. But at one sitting, it would be the fingers and the thumb of one hand with peanut butter. So she put on weight, but that stopped. You got to be kind to animals. Make sure you're not overfeeding them, especially something like peanut butter. But when Pauline turned up here at the end of the summer, Paris was kind of mean to Pauline because she figured that this house was hers, and she figured the car was hers. She figured that she should be riding shotgun and Pauline should sit someplace else, because that's the way it was for the summer while I was here in 2012. Pauline was up working. Paris would sit, and she was very well behaved. She would sit in the passenger seat in the front. So she was wasn't the greatest Pauline, but she was very good to me. I'd constantly be losing her. Where's Paris, I'd say. I don't know. I got tricked every time. She was always in my shade. Always behind me. Sometimes, this is infrequent, I get this feeling that she's still there, hiding somewhere in my shadow. Who knows? Well, here's Elvis. He's alive. He's Paris's son. And she was a beauty dog. He's a beauty dog too. Different color. She was black. Are you a beauty dog, Elvis? He says, yeah. He's very sure. He's a beauty dog. Yeah. Do you know where camera is, buddy? Can you look at camera? I don't think he knows what a camera is. He knows a lot of stuff. I was teaching him and Opie how to ramp up and turn. And they picked it up pretty well right away. So they'd ramp up on my leg.
Hey, handsome, you gonna
and
go
then
in?
Turn.
You don't want to go in. He's
Elvis,
not going to give you any.
oh
You
yeah.
don't want it anyway.
I don't think you'd like this very much.
No, you generally don't like plantains.
So do you want to appear on camera here, Buck? Yeah, just a moment. I lift you up. I lift you up. See? Can you look in camera over by Pauline? Yeah. So this is Elvis. He was named after Elvis Presley. My dad was he was well over 90 when we asked him, what should we call them? Like we named Paris's litters after various pop acts.
Okay, you go in. Cause
there was Anna Fred and Agnetha and stuff like that. But he was the only one in the litter. And we named one Elton, as in Elton John, from a single litter. And so my dad, he said, what's he like? I said, well, he's pretty antsy. And so he said, well, how about Elvis? Elvis Presley. I go, well, that's good. Elton and Elvis.
Mm-hmm.
He's a real character. Some of the ones we've had.
Elton was younger than Elvis.
Was he? He came after?
Yeah.
Okay,
Elton,
I kind of forgot.
Elton was Paris's last baby.
I was figuring he was close to the last.
Yeah.
One of the last was Charlie, too. He was a wonderful little guy. He'd jump up and he'd throw in a little sunfish to try and throw himself higher in the air. Oh, he's a wonderful little guy. Benny. I love that little guy, too.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of loved me in return because we met him years later. He's
You
fully
already
grown.
told them this story.
I've told them, but I always think about it. So.
I know. All right, so you don't have anything else to talk about then?
Well, it's just you remember the name that we used. He was called Baines
I know.
by his owners. But he, as soon as I started calling him Benny, he went and he started licking my hair. Every time I called him Benny, he'd jump up and start licking my hair.
I know.
Anyway, be kind to dogs when they're little. Don't run puppy factories. They remember if you're mean or negligent.